You always meet good people in your path, whether it's your doctors, you guys. You don't give up. You never ever give up. Somebody good, you're gonna bump into someone good, and they're gonna guide you the right way. They're gonna help you, but you never give up.
Welcome back, folks. This is Crizel from Hogan Smith Law with yet another story for the champions, and this is Hogan Smith Champions Club. Today's story embarks with the story of a widow and her 3 children. With a doctor's misdiagnosis, will she survive the cruel fate of life? Find out and see in this episode of Hogan Smith Champions Club. Hi Liz, welcome to Hogan Smith Law Champions Club. Congratulations again for being one of the champions of Hogan Smith Champions Club.
My name is Liz. I used to be a housing inspector, but I was not working for 3 years prior because of my health. But when I was working, I was a housing inspector for 9 years.
What happened that made you slow down from your career?
Well, I had open heart surgery in 2016. They put a biological valve, and I started having complications with the valve. I wasn't feeling well. I was very tired. My legs were swelling. I was having a hard time with the valve, and they didn't know what it was. My hair was falling out. So the valve was actually still working, but I was just having complications. So I was missing a lot of days of work. Then COVID came, so I couldn't really work. So that's why three years prior to me actually getting sick, I was on and off working. So now on 2025, I had to get the valve completely shut down. It just stopped working, and that's why I had to get open heart surgery again. And now they changed the valve. The valve completely shut down, and now I had to get a mechanical valve. I went back to work, then, but now it's been very hard. And now with the mechanical valve, I have to get my INR checked every week. I have to watch my vitamin K intake because the valve that I have is a mechanical valve. And the vitamin K, it thickens your blood. So, and I'm on a medication for life. It's a warfarin, which is a blood thinner. So now I have to be careful with a lot of things. I have to be very careful not to fall. I have to be very careful not to get cut. So now I have to be careful where I get my nails done. I have to be careful where I get my manicure, my pedicure. And also, little things that I totally took for granted, like the masks that I use on my face, like cucumber. We use specific masks that have, fruit masks, because they're fruits that have vitamin K. I'm looking into other things. I'm looking into other ways that I'm not going to give up on this. There has to be other things that I can do. If I'm here, I'm going to make the best of it. If I can't use fruit facial mask, I'll use oil facial mask. But I'm going to try to do something. Because we're women.
Yeah.
This is
we find
what am I going to do for self-love? What for self-care,
Did you have premeditated conditions before that?
I was born without that valve, the aortic valve. And they watched it, and I was okay till 2016. So I've been seeing the cardiologist from 2008 to 2016. I was fine. I saw the cardiologist religiously for twice a year. And he goes, eventually you're going to need to repair this. But as long as you don't have an episode, we're fine. But he says, all you need is one episode, and that's it. It has to be repaired. So I remember I was in a restaurant, and I felt like short of breath. I didn't feel well. And I was with my family. I said, there's something not right. I don't feel well. And I already knew, that what my cardiologist said. I said, you know what? I think I have to go to the ER. That was the one episode. And that's it. I went to the ER. They contact my cardiologist. He says, she's not leaving the hospital. And right there, then 2 days later, I was getting my open heart surgery. They put the valve in. That was in 2016. But then this time, it wasn't just the valve. This time, like I said, it was more complicated because they put the mechanical valve, but I also had water in my lungs. I had heart failure, and I also had an aneurysm in my aortic valve. I had like aortic disease. Like I had so much stuff going on. I don't know why. So and then now they know this is why I was feeling so sick for the past like 3 years. There was other stuff going on.
So it was after the 2016 operation that you finally
yes,
sought out the disability claim, and 3 times you worked in that.
when I started feeling sick,
What were the
afterwards,
reasons? Did they
yes,
tell you?
that's when I applied. When I remember when I applied, I didn't even apply for. It wasn't for the heart, I think. It was because I got rotor cuff surgery. I couldn't work because I couldn't pick up my arm. And to be a housing inspector, you have
did you get into an accident?
No, it just, I don't know. I just couldn't use my arm. And I was walking around with my arm. I couldn't move it. And then, I have to check the alarms. I have to lift the windows, make sure that they're working. You have to use both hands. And it was so difficult. And I had to go to the doctors. And then finally they told me that I had to get this arm operated because I had I needed rotor cuff surgery. And I had to be out I was going to be out at least for 3 months. That was a problem. And I applied for disability.
Did you apply by yourself with
did.
no lawyer?
No lawyer. It was by myself because I went to the disability office and I applied, and they denied me. And then I didn't get any workers' comp. I didn't get anything. I was out for a couple of months. I was out for 3 months. Then I was also feeling sick with the heart, and I went to the doctor, and then also that's when my legs were also swelling up. It was a combination. Now my arm is not good. My legs are swelling up. My heart is acting up. I went back to work. And then I had to go to the cardiologist. The cardiologist told I was wearing a monitor. Then it all became a mess. And then it was on and off I was trying to work, but I was missing a lot of days. And then that's when my boss was like, you can't work, you can't. And that's what I didn't work like that, like almost 3 years. My children were the ones helping me out. Then 2 or 3 years went by like that. And I tried, but it was too hard. I wasn't feeling well. I was even getting depressed about it because I didn't know what was I gonna do. And I even felt bad complaining to the doctors because I felt like they were telling me that I was a hypochondriac. But I knew what I was feeling. And I was going to the doctor and they were saying that there was nothing wrong. And I was like, well, I have a heart valve already, so what is the issue? Why am I short of breath? Why, they would listen to but not so much my cardiologist. It was more like my primary doctor. Oh, your chest sounds clear, but I'm having trouble breathing. Well, how does my chest sound clear? And I felt like there's something not right. Finally, until I woke up from a nap and I was like, I can't breathe. There's something not right. I can't breathe. And when I called the ambulance, the ambulance took me, and I never lost consciousness. And they were like, she's in heart failure. Her lungs are full of water. And that's when they called my cardiologist and they were like, she needs a new valve. And that's when he told me they're going to put a mechanical valve. You're not going to get another biological valve. Because if they would put another biological valve, they would need to change it in another 6 years. At least with the one that I have now, I have a good 20-25 years or more, as long as I take my blood thinners. And the way things, you blink of an eye, 20-25 years will be here like this. So, and I'm not a smoker. I'm not a drinker. So I'm praying that, if as long as I take care of myself, hopefully this valve will last, hopefully at least 40 years. We'll see what happens.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 wonderful children. It's been very tough, but I'm not gonna focus on the hard things. I'm focusing on the good things that I have. Like in the hospital, the nurses were like, "Who's here today?" Because I always had one of them with me. They would not leave me alone. So the nurses, they would tell me, I've been a nurse for an X amount of years, and I've never ever seen what I see. There is always one of them with you. They had their computer, they would work from home, they would take turns. There was always somebody, one of them with me. So they're amazing. They still are. And when I went home, they would rotate. They had this thing going on. It's your turn today.
Shifting
it's your
thing.
You have your day shift. I have the night shift. They were amazing.
Was your husband out of work as well, or
oh no, he passed away many years ago. Yeah, he passed away when my kids were very young. He had cancer.
And you raised them for most of their lives with a heart condition.
Yeah. He passed away when my youngest was like 13, and right now she's gonna be 30.
And you were working when he died?
I've always worked. Yeah, I worked. I worked most of my life. I worked for 17 years in the hospital as a surgical tech. Because of COVID, I left that, and then I became a housing inspector.
What did make you pick up a phone and call Hogan Smith Law? How did you find Hogan Smith Law?
It was funny because I went to court by myself to see the judge before.
And this was your what was this, your second or third time being denied?
Yeah, I think this was gonna be my third time. So I had a court date, and I went to the court date. I went by myself, and the judge was very nice. He was like, he says, Miss Perez, you're entitled to a lawyer. I didn't know. I just went because I saw that I had a court date, and I'm like, okay, I am. He goes like, you're entitled to have someone represent you. You don't have to say anything. And he explained to me about a legal aid because I was oblivious. I did not know anything. I didn't know what was I entitled to. I didn't know. I just went to court. So he explained everything to me. He says, and then he gave me a form of some lawyers, and I called a few of them. Then I started looking on my phone, and then someone picked up in Hogan, and then but then I said they were in Florida, and I'm like, oh my God, is that okay? And then the lady was so nice. And then she explained to me, no, it's okay. We deal with people in New York and all over the world. It gave me a good feeling. So I was like, okay. And she asked me, what was going on, and I told her. So I just decided, I said, okay. And she got back to me. She was like quick. She got back to me right away. She kept me posted with everything. She asked me for some documents. I sent it to her. She called me back, and then the lawyer called me back, and we sat like for an hour or so. We just discussed my case and everything, and they were just there on time, they made me feel comfortable, like they, and then I think it was the second day. The first day we were on the phone, like maybe for an hour. I was on the phone with the attorney, and then the second day we were on the phone again, like for maybe for 40 minutes. And the third day, the attorney called me back, and he goes, "We're gonna take your case." So I was like, really? And then they explained to me, you don't pay us anything. If we win the case, then you're gonna give us a percentage, whatever. Okay. So then that's it. It was free. But then everything happened. I won the case finally. I had my surgery. I could barely talk. I feel like I'm gonna die because I could barely talk. I can't move. I can't get up. And the same day that I got my surgery, that same day, I think it was my son, he goes, "Ma, you got a check in the mail." And I'm like, I started crying.
Let's talk more about how that win has made a difference in your day-to-day life.
Well, it has made a difference because I don't have to have that worry on how am I going to pay my bills. At least I have that security that I have the money to pay my bills. That was a big issue before, because it's like I lived on paycheck to paycheck. My kids were the ones that were like, "Ma, this is for your light, this is for your rent, I don't have to worry about that." So that's a big relief now.
What would you tell someone though, someone out there who who probably has a heart condition like yours, struggling with a denied claim and thinking about giving up?
You never give up. You don't give up. Oh, God always has a plan. You always meet good people. And if you guys are good people, you always meet good people in your path, whether it's your doctors, you guys. You don't give up. You never ever give up. Somebody good, you're gonna bump into someone good, and they're gonna guide you the right way. They're gonna help you, but you never give up.
We will fight for you again and again. That's Hogan Smith Law.
Oh,
So you don't have to worry. So from your POV, I want to hear it. How has Hogan Smith Law impacted you and your siblings' lives?
Tremendously, because with Hogan, she's been able to become more independent. She's able to live independently at home and comfortably, and make sure that her bills and just basic necessities are going to be compensated. Like, for example, she doesn't have that fear anymore of just worrying month to month. The challenges of just like making sure that she has her rent is paid, her light is paid, her internet is paid, her phone is paid. That, like, for example, she on an average basis, she has like about 3 appointments a week. If these basic amenities aren't compensated, she won't be able to continue her recovery. That everyone from the team and from the hospital said, we understand that everything is going to be rough, but as long as you're consistent and you continue to push through, you will be able to bounce back. We're not making any promises that you're going to be superwoman, but you'll definitely be at 80% that you can continue to have a full life and not live in fear, and you can do things and not be afraid to go get groceries by yourself.
That is something that Hogan Smith Law can do for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.